Go ahead.
Most of us were pretty good to go on some basic elements, but we need to go a little bit deeper. When we just stay at the basics, just at the surface level, we're going to miss important details. Very clearly, slope-intercept, what two things do you need to write that equation?
Slope-intercept.
Just a generic intercept?
Why?
There we go. We got to be specific about that. So, to write the equation, we need slope. We need the slope. And the y-intercept. Right, we got to have those two things. To write the equation, we need the slope and we need the y-intercept. So how would you know if you have the y-intercept?
It's going to be on the y-axis.
It's going to be on the y-axis, okay, so we have the y-intercept if it is a point on the y-axis. How else would we know if we have the y-intercept? What else do we automatically know about the y-intercept?
It's when x equals 0.
Okay. On the x-axis, or sorry, y-axis, x equals 0. So, what would be the point for the y-intercept?
Y.
It is always an xy, but what is the x value?
0.
Remember, the y-intercept x is 0, right?
And then y.
And then the y-intercept, we always use a b. Okay? How would we calculate slope? There we go. Which, I'm just going to quickly write that because we already have that earlier, right? But m equals rise divided by run. That's important. Point slope, though. I think most of us at least identified some key elements here. What would you need to write point slope equation of a line?
Point and slope.
You need a point. Let me get a different color because this might start to run together. Alright, you need a point and a slope. Are mathematicians original?
Nope.
Nope. Which is great for us because that means it makes it pretty easy to know what we need. Need a point and a slope. That's it. How do we write this point in general? How do we see it in the equation?
x1.
The point is x1. Zay, are you writing this down, dude? Right, so we might need a little bit more detail on a couple of these things, but the point is x1. What is that a point? Am I done? No. What's the rest of the point, Amity?
y1.
Just actually, sorry. Is that how I would write that? What am I missing? Comma, right? We need that comma in between to create the coordinate point. So the point is x1 comma y1. I want y'all to notice this because this is important. You see how we're already subtracting? So if I were to have 3 times x minus 2 plus 1, do you think x is positive or negative? But you see how it's already x minus x1? It would actually be a positive. Think about it this way. If I had the point 2 comma 1, wouldn't it be x minus that 2, right, plus that 1? Now if this was a negative 2 for the x, I'd be subtracting a negative 2, and how do we subtract a negative? By adding, right? So we need to notice that whatever the sign is here, that's the opposite of whatever the x value is. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's just something to pay attention to. It'll come back up later. But here's something I want to point out. Okay, and I would have written it over under slope-intercept, except I didn't have the room. are you just always given the slope?
No.
No, you're definitely not just given the slope. Very rare, actually. So what could you do to calculate that slope? We already know slope is rise divided by run, but what could we do, or what could be given to us? Maybe we're not given a, say again?
A line on the graph.
Okay, so we could be given a line on a graph, which would be slope, which would be rise divided by run. But specifically, we would have to look at two what on that graph?
Points.
Points, right? If we're gonna look at a graph, we gotta just identify two clear points, and we can then find the rise divided by the run. But is it also possible that someone just gives you 2 points? Yes? Okay. So for example, if I were to give you,
Good afternoon, Hillcrest. Soccer Sweetheart applications are available outside the Scaling Room in room 104. Applications are due to Ms. Scaling no later than Friday, January 22nd. Key Club is accepting applications for new members. See Key Club Bulletin Board across from room 100 for more information. Returning Key Club members should see the Key Club Bulletin Board across from room 100 for more information about the club activities for the spring semester. School Picture Day will be Monday, February 1st in the theater. Look for the schedules hanging around the school for your time slot.
make sure you're already going and drawing this out so that
Shelter
you
State
have
Scholarship
same time.
applications is open. Deadline is March 1st. The Special Education Department will be doing on Friday Patriot Snack Shack. All proceeds will benefit the special education classroom. Bring your dollars. There will be Cokes, water, chips, crackers, and chocolate bars for sale. They are $1 each. Fridays only between classes, except for lunch times, in room 115 and upstairs next to room 200. Thank you and have a great day.
However, right, so we should be pretty good with making a graph, yeah? Is a graph the only way to find that slope though? No, what else could I make, Amity?
A table.
A table. I've got 2 points. I've got the point 2, 3, and I've got the point -2, -7. How would I identify the rise in this table? And pause on the graph, you can finish that later. Look at this table. How could I find the rise on this table? What are you subtracting by?
2.
You looking at this 2 to the -2? But remember, that's x. Is that a rise? No? Rising would be which variable? Up and down, which is which variable?
Addition.
Variable.
Oh.
Okay, remind me, we gotta pick up here tomorrow. So we will pick back up there tomorrow because I need to show you your homework. So you need to complete the review packet and finish math literacy if you have not already. The first 2 columns, just 2, but the first 2 columns of the vocabulary graphic organizer for the first 2 pages, so constraints through x-intercepts and y-intercepts, is due tomorrow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
We good on that? Okay, so the first 2 columns of the vocabulary graphic organizer, just for the first 2 pages. It's really just the front and the back of the first page. You should already have some of this done because we did it before spring break, or before Christmas break, not spring break. We definitely did it before spring break too. But constraints through x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Just defining some vocabulary terms. Also, use your notes. 5.1 to 5.4. It's honestly in order. So start at 5.1 for the first term, and then it goes through 5.4 for all the terms total.